What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be getting into some information on why hemp and cannabis are at the leading, very tip of the spear on pioneering agricultural technology and soil remediation, battling climate change, a whole bunch of super controversial issues popping up here today based off of scientific data. You already know how we do. So without any further ado, let us go ahead and dive right on in to the content. Yes, all day, every day, cannabis chemists represent. Hit that like, subscribe, bell button notification for your boy. Gotta go through my entire spew. If you do not know about the Discord or have not joined the Discord, check out the pinned comment section or the video description and join that. It is amazing in there. Lots and lots of technology people, great chemists just like myself, and we are on deck answering all type of questions, giving all type of information, new SOPs, great member discounts, just as much profitable value as you can think about, all for about the price of a cup of coffee. So really, if you are invested in your future, I do not know why you would not be in that Discord right now. So go sign up today. Super easy. Cannabis and hemp's ability to fight climate change. I am Grim from WKU Consulting. Let's check it out. Well, I love this one. Check this guy.
All of this with the global warming and that, a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax.
It's all a hoax. It's all a hoax. Well, whether or not you believe that is completely up to you. Is climate change real? Well, I don't know. I can tell you that, half of the researchers say it is, half of the researchers say it's not, half of the government says it is, half of the government says it's not. I tend to not believe anything that either one of those people say, but I can give you some real scientific data right now. Number one, the ice sheets are shrinking. They're shrinking, period. It's undisputed. Number two, the sea level is rising. Also undisputed. Number three, the oceans are getting warmer. And number four, more catastrophes happening more frequently. And I really love the people that are like, well, the internet and the TV, that just made the broadcasting. The catastrophes have been all the same at the same frequency. They're just broadcasting more of it with the availability of media devices all over, even into the situation of a handheld telephone device. But I can guarantee you that while maybe not broadcasted on a national level, catastrophes were documented as far back as you can remember because there were thousands and millions of people affected. So it is just scientific fact that we are getting more catastrophes more frequently, and I tend to believe that that's because the Bible said it would happen. So there you go, and that's what that. But where does hemp come in? Well, a team of scientists from Hudson Carbon, I actually got this off of Benzinga. It was an article today. A research center in upstate New York put together some of the following findings. The United States accounts for about 5% of the world's population, but is responsible for 28% of the world's emissions. Roughly speaking, if the U.S. did 50 million acres, and yes, that's quite a bit, we would be sequestering a couple 100 million tons of carbon per year on that acreage, said Ben Dobson, founder and president of Hudson Carbon. So to give you an idea of what 50 million acres is, in case you cannot visualize that, that is approximately the surface area or the land mass quantity of the state of Nebraska. So all of my Nebraskans out there, stand up, because your number one production material is corn. What if you replaced all of that corn with some hemp? Would that be an ethical solution to battle climate change? Well, let's get into researching the facts. The team out in Hudson found that fully grown trees can capture about 6 tons of CO2 per year, while hemp can capture about 16 tons. 16 tons. That's almost a 3x. CO2 also becomes permanently encased within hemp fibers, which can be used as a raw material to manufacture a variety of products. The U.S. grows about 10 million acres of cotton every year. Hemp can, and hopefully with your help, will replace nearly all textile materials made with cotton. You don't need cotton. You do not need cotton if you have hemp. Hemp can do everything that cotton can do, with also the ability to remove about 16 tons of CO2 per year. I do not have a CO2 emissions calculator, but I can tell you that there is a global initiative right now going down, and a lot of it is counterintuitive, and I am still to this day scratching my head on why hemp is not being considered as the number one method to fix all of the pollution that we've done all across the world. And we'll get into that a little bit more. Let's talk about tree versus tree. Tree versus tree. 7 to 10 years for a tree to reach maturity and climax carbon emission absorption. So 7 to 10 years for it to actually do that 6 tons that we were just talking about in the previous slide. You know how long it takes for the hemp plant? 100 days, a little bit plus of 3 months. 3 months. That is amazing. That is amazing in its efficacious ability and its ability to be able to remove those carbon emissions and give us a cleaner, better planet to live on. And I'm no tree leaf, whatever, tree hugger type of things like that. I mean, I drive a 1976 F-150 just to go out into the swamp and squirrel around, you know, and that thing gets almost no gas mileage. So I completely understand, you know, I do. I completely understand. I'm a country boy at heart. It's not saying that I'm out there and I'm kissing flowers and things like that. It's just saying that we are scientists, and to ignore the facts, and somebody has to be ignoring the facts and putting money in a different direction. But we're going to get into that. Okay, besides all of that, besides purifying the air of greenhouse gases, cannabis plants can also absorb carcinogenic heavy metals such as mercury, lead, or cadmium from soils, elements which, although suitable for crops used for food, are highly dangerous for people who consume these plants. Soil remediation to bring back bad soil, polluted soil, and allow us to be able to grow crops on them again, all while utilizing the carbon sequestering that hemp has the ability to do. The hyperaccumulator is what it's a scientific term that we're going to attribute to the soil remediation caused by hemp. Characteristics of hemp were proven in cleanup efforts in the 1990s when Ukraine's Institute of Bast Crops documented the plant's ability to absorb heavy metals such as lead, nickel, cadmium, zinc, and chromium in the Chernobyl nuclear fallout zone. So we have scientific evidence saying that we can remediate these zones, and it is still a fallout zone. It is still a fallout zone. Is anybody asking the question, why on earth is that entire zone not cultivating hemp right now to remediate all of those poisonous and heavy metals, that cadmium, all of that? Why is it not pulling it out of the soil right now? Whose money is preventing that from happening if the data is in fact true? The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has estimated the cost of phytoremediation as a technique for removing hazardous heavy metals from soil ranges from 20 to 50% of outlays required for conventional methods that employ physical, chemical, or thermal technologies. So let's just use a conservative 50% estimate. That means that the current technologies still to this day being deployed are 50% or half more costly than phytoremediation using the hemp plant. So it costs more. Once again, if you have any problem on this earth, especially as it pertains to Babylon, if you follow the money, then you pretty much are going to find out why, in fact, if the global initiative is to reduce carbon emissions, but we're not using the most scientifically based evidence to remove said emissions, then whose pockets are being lined? Ask yourself these questions and ask yourself the importance of lobbying, especially for this global initiative. Do not be fooled. Now, you'll always find this big controversial topic going up against the two people. Some believe climate change is a hoax, others believe it's not, and it all comes down into separating our personal beliefs. The simple fact of the matter is we are killing this planet, and we are spending billions, that's right, I said it correctly, billions of taxpayers' dollars to remediate or reverse this stage. However, the most effective way that it can be reversed is not being employed. That makes our government either idiotic or complacent. And we need to be asking ourselves why. These technologies are currently being deployed in South Africa's heavily polluted gold and diamond mining areas. If you know, when you go out and do all of that gold and diamond mining, you essentially leave the land there on a wasteland. Well, hemp is now being deployed to remediate that land and give Mother Africa all of her very, very vibrant, very, very nutritious, wonderful for growing in that tropical environment, giving all of those materials back to her, or those resources back to her. And I think that's a great idea. I don't know. You tell me. Other notable use cases. Okay. Hemp is 10 times more efficient than trees for paper production. Number 2, it can be used for superior, and yes, I said superior. Go and take a blowtorch to your insulation in your sheetrock. And I'm not even going to get into all of the waste that it costs to make insulation. You remember when they stuck everybody with asbestos, and then 70 years later, or 30 years later, 20 years later, however long it was, came back and asked, did you use asbestos? You might be entitled to a claim or a settlement. File your claim today. What? Do you think that the research was not there for the use of hemp insulation before then? Yes, it was. The technology was known about. Why weren't they using it? Anyway, take you a blowtorch to your insulation inside of your sheetrock. See what happens. And then fill that exact same stud space between the two studs with hemp insulation, and see what it does. Not only is it greater for retention, temperature retention, it is a greater, more efficable solution for fire retardation or fire prevention. It gives your house a much longer burn rating. For anybody that doesn't know what that means, but that works in a laboratory environment, you should know what that means, because that means the longer the burn rating on your walls, the more chance you have to escape the critical room area. Why is this not being talked about? Hempcrete is stronger than normal concrete. Is anybody wondering why there are ancient builders, let's say, mason, that used stone, right? And those are still standing today. You can still find those architectural projects still standing to this day, thousands of years later, when our highly advanced construction technologies nowadays are like 20, 30 years, your concrete has cracks all in it, the building's falling off, it's just a big money pit. Why are we taking steps backwards? Do not even get me started on biofuels, because right now they could alleviate all of those gas prices, all of them everywhere could be alleviated. We wouldn't even need those anymore. And I'll get into the electric vehicle initiative in just a minute, because I am going in, because I believe in not just the ability for this plant to get us high. Let's all just be as high as we can and walk around like robots and not even take a minute to look at the efficacy of this plant for just our existence as human beings on the on the planet. Let's just get as high as freaking possible, convert all the CBD into THC and do everything, and skip all the research about how this could make a better living environment for humans all across the world, and just walk around like high zombies and just ignore all of the facts that we are being subjugated, and the people must rise up. But as long as you're high, who really cares? Numbing the pain without finding a solution to it. And I won't get too far into it, but I guarantee my toes are in the water. Amen. Okay, so not to mention It contains more protein than soybeans. Are there any vegans or vegetarians out there that are still screaming about the carbon emissions in cows and methane gases and eating meat and how terrible that is? And hey man, I'm not making fun of you. I like a fat steak. I'm not going to lie. I would never be vegan, but I do take protein powder in my workout ethics and things like that. And a lot of these people are getting protein from soybeans. Well, if you are so concerned about the methane gases while driving around your 2022 Subaru that is using fossil fuels, I have to ask the question, why is nobody raising their voice for the hemp initiative? 80 years ago, Henry Ford made a car that was constructed and ran on hemp materials. Not only was it carbon negative, okay, we understand that there are factories that need to be maintained to be able to produce these cars, but let's just call it conservatively carbon neutral. It was lighter than fiberglass, the chassis was, and 10x stronger than steel. Anybody ever wonder why people in my 1976 Ford, I could slam into a concrete building and drive out the other side. If I even touch a curb in the other car that I have, which is a Porsche, if I drive my Porsche into a car, the entire thing just crumples. Because it's all made out of this weak, worthless material. And so we got to increase the miles per gallon. And it's all just a farce. It's fugazi. It doesn't exist. It's nothing, air, mystery. It's all just an idea in the head. There are scientific methods that we can reverse our impact on this planet, and the need for transportation is absolutely necessary. We are not going to be able to drive a horse and buggy and make our business meetings. I do understand that we are too technologically advanced to adhere to those type of principles. However, we could be doing a better job, not to mention this car 80 years ago. You think there's new technology? This is new technology. They haven't known about this for a while. It could run on recycled agricultural wastes, carbon neutral, and in some case, carbon negative. I love this last slide. This is my favorite slide, and I covered a lot of these in closing. And I know not only is this one of the most, let's talk about the money. Not only is this one of the most profitable businesses, and I say profitable, it is the most profitable business, one of the most profitable businesses right now. So if you're like, look, man, I get your global initiative and all that, my duty to be a better human. However, I'm just trying to make money, right? Dude, there is so much money in cannabis and hemp. So much money in cannabis and hemp. So you can make your money and be a better human at the same time. Who knows? Just throwing it out there. But also your ability to help right now. There's a $44.9 billion budget from the Biden administration for this reducing our carbon footprint. And you know what all of that money is going into? Renewable energy, solar, wind, blah, 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 blah. No. Technology exists out there right now that you could not only just cut down. All of this $44.9 billion budget, if spent correctly, could go, you know what, Grim for President 2024. How about that? Anyway, all of this money could be spent towards actually not only reducing our carbon footprint, but reversing the signs or the pollution that we've done already. So reversing the stages. Now we're just hoping that we can prolong our existence, because all scientists everywhere pretty much agree on one similar thing. We are destroying the world, and eventually, maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not in our grandchildren's lifetime, but going the way that we are going, eventually this planet will be uninhabitable. Maybe it is not, let's just go to Mars and destroy that planet too. But there is right now, it doesn't even take that much thought. I'm not a rocket scientist, and I can tell you that this is a solution for reversing what we have done to this planet. Is it going to reverse all of it? No, but $44.9 billion spent on just making renewable industry and lining the pockets of some political regime is not going to be done. Not to mention, in closing, let's talk about the global electronic vehicle initiative. Bro, seriously, okay, you drive an electric car. You think that you're helping the environment. Good for you. Has anybody ever asked How do factories make batteries? How do factories make batteries? What happens when the battery is destroyed? Where does it go? Into a landfill. What do you think that does to the environment? How are batteries being manufactured? By processing plants. What do processing plants use to power themselves? Fossil fuels. Okay, here's another one. You're charging your electronic vehicle in your really nice 6-bedroom, 3-bathroom, jacuzzi, and hot tub house, and you want to be a tree hugger and you want to be a better human. I would ask you another question. How is the electrical grid supplying the electricity that goes to your car to charge it? Fossil fuels. It's incredible. Guys, we can do more. We can do more. Think for yourselves. Be a free-thinking citizen. And for all of my people that are in the hemp industry, look, as a united voice, we can stand up and we can make a difference. Now, I'm not using my platform for an ability to drive a political agenda, and I, in fact, do not have one. I do not exist under the terms of Babylon's thesis for government and all of those things like that. But I am a steward of Mother Earth, and I will tell you that research exists, especially since we're in the cannabis and hemp industry. Not only is this a great solution for textile fabrics, and it'll get you high. That's just an added benefit. It'll get you high too. It will also reduce carbon emissions. It will make for better construction materials, better textile fabrics. It will make for better medicines that do not keep you in a revolving door of a systematic approach to treat you like a cow to get your money every single day, that they can continually medicate you and not fix whatever is ailing you. As a human species, somebody has to stand up and make an initiative, and it isn't going to just be one person who gets it done. It's going to be a collective effort from all of us. So wherever you are, think about it for yourself, make your own. I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other, just presenting some facts, and you must decide what you will do in the future. It has been a blessing, a privilege, nay, an honor to be able to teach and consult with you guys today. We will see you all in the next video. Peace out.